To say Crawford. If you go down the list and ask me about tactical advantages, most of them are Crawford. What Canelo has is size, and as a result, physical strength and punching power.
And a neck as wide as Broadway, for crying out loud.
Right.
The thing that I don't like about Canelo is that it's like almost every shot has to be a power shot.
It's a power shot, yes.
They both hit hard because and you can see the strength. You know, when I was fighting against Crawford, I didn't think Crawford was that strong, but when he kind of moved me around a little bit, he is very strong as well. So look, yeah, but why does he need to give that much away? He's pound for pound #1 in the world. Why does he have to go up and fight Canelo?
Max Kellerman and Stephen A. Smith analyzed the Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford matchup, with Stephen A. predicting a Crawford win by decision but urging caution. He echoed Gervonta Davis's warning that Crawford could be in danger if he engages too much, emphasizing that Canelo's natural size and power give him a clear edge. Instead, Stephen A. argued Crawford must depend on his defense, speed, and ring IQ rather than trading punches, as both analysts agreed strategy, not strength, will determine the outcome.
Greatness. And a neck as wide as Broadway, for crying out loud.
Right.
The thing that I don't like about Canelo is that it's like almost every shot has to be a power shot.
It's a power shot, yes.
And that's not beating Crawford. I will confess, I think Gervonta Davis's trainer, Cal, I think he said this. He said Crawford could find himself in trouble, and I'm not sure it was him, but I think it was him. He said Crawford could find himself in trouble if he decides to engage with Canelo, because Canelo is the naturally bigger, strong fighter. And I don't care that Crawford's gotten bigger, and I don't care that Crawford's going to go in there just as big as Canelo. Canelo is accustomed to fighting at the weight.
Max Kellerman pointed out that Terence Crawford's sharper overall skill set gives him a clear technical advantage, while Canelo Alvarez brings a durable chin and naturally larger frame that make him dangerous in exchanges. However, he noted that Canelo has not looked as dominant or sharp in recent outings, showing signs of decline. This sets up the fight as a clash of Crawford's timing and precision against Canelo's size and resilience.
Great chin, a great chin. But in terms of, if you want to go skill for skill, especially the recent version of Canelo, who's had to turn into a seek and destroy guy, who had to learn as his career went on to cut off the ring and not just follow guys around. Like Lara, Trout, Floyd, he followed those guys around. He had trouble because he's really a natural counterpuncher who wants you to come to him. But in recent years at super middleweight, he's gotten really good at cutting off the ring. Again, last fight notwithstanding. So as an overall suite of skills, recent vintage, it's been Crawford. Okay. But Canelo also is skilled and has a larger skeleton than Crawford. No matter what they weigh, Canelo's the bigger guy.
Yeah. You briefly mentioned Canelo's power, so who I would assume Canelo has the
You'd have to think, unless Crawford, Crawford was on a knockout streak until he moved up to junior middleweight and then failed to stop Madrimov.
Antonio Tarver, former champion and respected boxing analyst, voiced his support for Terence Crawford while recognizing the immense challenge ahead. He noted that Crawford has repeatedly proven himself across multiple weight divisions, yet emphasized that this matchup is on an entirely different level. Tarver believes it represents not only the toughest test of Crawford's career, but also a type of fight Canelo Alvarez has never truly encountered before.
You know I'm Bud County all the way, but this is going to be the toughest fight, the best fighter Bud has ever been in the ring with. And arguably, this could be the best fighter Canelo has ever been in the ring with. We'll find out which one is which on September 13th.
Antonio, I appreciate your time. Safe travels back home.
Man, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Antonio.
Timothy Bradley Jr., known for his sharp boxing IQ, predicts the opening round of Canelo versus Crawford will be cautious and tactical. He expects both fighters to avoid early risks, instead using the first minutes to study timing, movement, and openings. Bradley highlighted Crawford's trademark patience in big fights, where he prefers to gauge his opponent before setting traps, while Canelo often uses the opening round to establish distance and make adjustments. As a result, Bradley believes the fight will begin less with fireworks and more with a strategic, chess-like exchange of information.
Crawford wants to feel his punching power as well. In the beginning,
it's all the position balance. Like both guys are going, trying to get balance and trying to find their rhythm, you know, understanding their distance to where they can punch and at the same time avoid getting hit. You know, it takes Crawford a little bit more time than I would say Canelo to get right to it. Canelo, although I would say he is a prolific counterpuncher, fantastic counterpuncher, you know, he tends to find his spots a lot quicker. You know, and the indication of that is when, if you look at any of the boxers that Canelo has faced, Trout, even Danny Jacobs, even when he fought against Charlo, you just check out the first round. You know, he usually takes off, just feels the power, you know, cruises, you know, see what these guys know, couple of feints, level changes, you know, just gathering information, right? Crawford does the same and similar things. So I think the first round's going to be a real, like, calm and cautious round by both fighters. But in the second round, Canelo's going to start applying that pressure, man. Pre-engagement with Crawford is a little bit more difficult than a Charlo, okay? And let me explain this. So pre-engagement is the movements before you get into that sweet spot, which is mid-range, to be able to let your hands go, right? Both guys are trying to counter each other's movement. Both guys are looking at each other's, you know, hands, trying to anticipate what they believe is going to come next.
Amir Khan, having faced both Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford, brings a rare perspective to this matchup. He acknowledges Crawford's greatness, particularly at welterweight, where his legacy as an all-time great is already secure. However, Khan warns that weight divisions exist for a reason, and moving up against naturally bigger, stronger fighters carries serious risks. In his view, Crawford didn't need to take on the pressure of facing Canelo, yet he respects the ambition behind the decision. To Khan, it represents a bold attempt to silence critics and achieve what few fighters in history have done: defy the limits of weight classes. Still, he stresses that while Crawford is elite, stepping in with a powerful opponent like Canelo is a dangerous gamble, one that could either immortalize Crawford's legacy or jeopardize his career.